My name is Abdulaziz Mohammed. I don't know why Dennis has called me an MP. For some reason, I think he wants me to run for politics, but I don't want the position. I've given it back to Mr. Dennis. So he's going to become voice of the money slash what? MP, right? So how many of us are excited for today's training? Should I stand on the stage, sir? Yes, okay, perfect. So when I stand here, I feel too tall, but I'm seeing everyone is, heads. But today we're going to learn an interesting topic that I was given today. And today's topic is, oh, our clicker is not working. Okay, amazing. So today's topic is this one: take your business to the next level. How many of you want to take your business to the next level? Like, God is even watching. You're no longer prospects. You should even be raising your hand harder. How many people want to take your business to the next level? Amazing. So, like Dennis actually introduced you earlier, my name is Abdulaziz Mohammed. I've done network marketing for now 8 years. And with this year, it will become my 9th. And one of the things I've learned with network marketing was this particular training here. This particular training here, when I was going through it last night when Immaculate had sent it to me, it was a very emotional training. And one of the things that made me emotional about this training is when I got started in network marketing, the person who had invited me first for my first network marketing opportunity, he sponsored me and he told me, come plug into the system. Now me, I asked him, I'm not a socket, I'm not a, I'm not a plug. How do I plug and what system am I plugging what to? The hardest thing for me was understanding even what network marketing was. The day he brought for me a package, the first package I'd ever received was like I don't know if it was like a bag of cement, but it felt like a bag of cement. So many products. I worried that it had a big target symbol. Once I was moving with it, most of my friends were calling me, that boy has passed. Of those things. Tell me about those things. I was moving in my class. That time I just graduated, coming back, pick my transcript. I come with a big package because he said, everywhere you go, please take this package. Someone will either buy your product, buy into your business, or join you for no reason. And then I told myself that, what do I lose? I have everything to gain and nothing to what? Lose. So I walked with my package. It was very heavy. I sat on it with a border. I reached there, my school. I hold my big package and I was excited. I walked, but I took only 10 steps. Tell me about 10 steps.
10 steps.
And before I knew it, someone called me and said, how long have you been in Kampala? I asked him, all my life, what are you talking about? He said, you also were scammed and put in those things. I said, who scammed me? I got even scared. I said, who has scammed me now? He said, that package you're holding, they have scammed you. I got on the phone, called my sponsor. So they have told me you have scammed me. Is it true or false? I even put him on loudspeaker. Tell it to the person who has told me you have scammed me. I got very annoyed. I got the next border. I didn't even come and first pick my transcript. He disorganized me. I got the border back to take him back his package. And I was looking for him aggressively. Do you know what I mean? I was looking like when someone looks for someone when you're demanding them. That's how I was looking for the person. I said, if I land on him in the training center, it is me and who? That's how I was looking at him. I was so sure that if I can just get him in that corner, I'll get out my money from him in that corner, me and him. Either I get my money or I take his life. Do you understand where I'm coming from? That's how I was, very committed. And before I could take his life, he said, we are amongst many people and we're in a training like this. You understand? Sit in that training, and after that training, please take my life. I said, you have told me I'll take your what? I sat down in the training waiting to take his life. Before I knew it, I came, he trained, and he said that there will be people who will tell you that things you have joined are what? A scam. I was like, this guy has coordinated with this person to inform him I'm coming. So I was like, okay. I even opened my book. I said, the people I'm taking, their lives are two. The trainer and my what? Sponsor. So I sit down. He says that they will convince you that these things are a scam. They will convince you what you have joined is the wrong thing. And on top of that, they will talk you out of your dream. I'm like, me and him, who knows my dream? You get where I'm coming from? I asked myself this question in my head. But as the training went on, I started to realize one thing, that on top of that, the fact that this person who sponsored me told me network marketing isn't a scam, another person is telling it to me. Even my neighbor is nodding his head. You understand? He's very excited. He's nodding his head. Then I tapped him and asked him, but you man, why are you nodding your head too much? You couldn't want it to fall off your neck. Then he asked me that the business we have joined is a multi-million-dollar business. And it's network marketing. But surprisingly, one of the saddest things for me was I was looking at it completely differently. And that's because I didn't understand how to take my business to the next level. And one of the things that was struggling with me was point number one. What is genuine network marketing? When I understood this point here, and even the point is saying network marketing is an excellent vehicle for achieving financial freedom, but it requires focus, discipline, and a clear strategy. Did I have focus? No. Did I have discipline? No. Did I even have a clear strategy? No. But it goes ahead and says, this training outlines the step-by-step approach to building and growing your business successfully. I was so fortunate enough that the person who invited me for that training, or my sponsor who called me, come and attend this training, he knew my problem was I never understood network marketing as an industry. And the moment I didn't understand it was the beginning of my downfall. Because most of us, our first immediate goal is we're looking for our 2 people. Tell your neighbor 2 people. The moment you get those 2 people, you imagine you're supposed to automatically become a millionaire. That was my mistake. The first thing I wanted was just to sponsor 1 person. And I was telling it to the people I was seated in a cell that most of us as distributors, our focal point or our focus point is you keep inviting, keep presenting, hoping that this 1 person joins. But have you ever asked yourself what next after they join? That's where the tug of war begins for most of us distributors, right? And that for me was most of the idea that I was struggling with when I just started network marketing. But what helped me was, it was this point number 1, define and break down your goals. How many of us have goals today? You have goals today. Okay, let me ask because we're not prospects. How many of us have goals? By show of hands. How many of us have goals here? By show of hands. Like they are here with you. By show of hands. Hey, and the hands are reducing. Okay, the hands are reducing. Okay, if you have your goal, just stand up. If you have your goal, I'm not the CEO. I don't force you to stand up, but just stand up if you're proud of your goal. I'm not going to tell you read them. Don't get scared. When I tell people you have a goal now, they won't say, Appliance, don't ask me to read them. No. How many of you have your goal here and it's with you? Just stand up. By show. Just show us yourself. Wow. Wonderful. Now, these individuals are not any different and special from you, right? True or false? They are human beings. They are also distributors just like you. But one thing that I realized a lot in network marketing is the goals that are slept on or that are not revisited are the goals that we never hit. Am I speaking to someone? Even Upline himself, or our CEO, our beautiful CEO, you can take your seats, thank you so much. Our amazing CEO had mentioned it on his status. Was it on Monday? Yes, he posted it on his status. He said, most of the goals that we don't achieve are the ones we don't pay attention to. Like the goal you don't achieve is the one you don't give time and is the one you don't pay attention to. And what is he talking about goal setting? He's saying that you are going to divide your goals in 3 parts, right? The short-term goals. The short-term goals is saying these are milestones you want to achieve in the next 6 months. Short-term goals could include signing up a certain number of new members, achieving a specific rank, generating a particular amount of income. These should be realistic, attainable, but also motivating enough to push you to action daily. Some of us have followed that acronym of SMART when we're setting our goals: specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, time-bound, right? We have all followed those steps. But then we always skip this part here of realistic. You understand? We skip a part where you say you want, I mean, it's fine, you can achieve some of the goals you're setting down on a paper. But how I always gauge or tell people to write down your goal is gauge your goal from the previous goal maybe you set, hit, and achieved, right? If your goal was sponsor 2 people and you sponsored 2 people this month, how about multiplying it times 2? Just something simple. Just multiply it times what? 2. And if you achieve also the multiplication of that goal, then again, just multiply the next goal times what? 2. Before you know it, the goal you're setting is not so far away, but it's motivating enough to help you achieve and push your daily activity, but it's also attainable. You don't want to be that person who every month you set a goal, you don't hit it, it becomes your daily bread. For you, the person they know in the team who writes goals on a paper. Even they scare your members, and most importantly, at the end of the month, you have achieved none of them. You get where I'm coming from? And then every month out, you start getting demotivated. You understand? I always tell people, when you're new in network marketing, you've just started them, they've given you your package, just make your first month goal to sponsor your first 2 friends. And then identify how you can identify the people you want to talk to, the number of people you want to talk to. I always sit down when I sponsor someone, I tell them that, how much do you want to make? I first get to know the person I've sponsored on what? On board. He tells me, probably I want to make 10 million. I'd be like, wow, it's amazing. And I ask him, why do you want to make this 10 million? He asks me and tells me maybe because of such and such a what? Reason. Then I ask him, do you want me to tell you what it requires to make 10 million? Then I explain it to him and I tell it to him in what? Full length. Do you get where I'm coming from? And when I explain it to him in full length, then he starts to revise it naturally in his mind. He starts to see whether it's possible or it's not. You get where I'm coming from? But then, on top of that, I add on to give him the strategy on how you could still achieve this 10 million. Because it may not be impossible, because we have seen people in their first month. How many of us saw the recognition? There are people who made more than 10 what? Million. Do you get it? So it means it's achievable. All you have to do is probably the same things the people who achieved that 10 million did, and even add on extra, just in case. You get where I'm coming from? Maybe those people had a lot of experience behind them that we usually tell people there's a lot of experience that is invisible experience, where someone is doing network marketing, but you don't know that this may not be their first company. So you want to also set goals like someone who was not, it's like how Messi comes and tells you for him he wants to maybe win the Ballon d'Or. For you have just started playing football today, and you also tell yourself you want to win the Ballon d'Or like Messi. How? You get where I'm coming from? There were years and years of probably training he had to experience and do that maybe you were not there to see, right? And that experience is the one that you're considering not visible. You get where I'm coming from? So that experience right there is the challenge that most of us don't see. And that's why I sit down and tell that person that if you want to do this, this is what you have to do, and this is how you can do it to make this amount of money. So immediately, he has achieved or he has set his first immediate goals that make this person, when he hits them, feel this kind of motivation that maybe he's moving in the right direction. Those small milestones, that's why you see, they say, these small milestones are very important because they're the ones that term goals. Saying about midterm goals. These midterm goals, they are saying, are objectives you'd like to achieve within the next 3 years. Next how many years? 3 years. How many of you have seen yourself 3 years with OQATA? By show of hands. Like you've seen yourself 3 years with OQATA. How many of you even don't know if you're going to make a year? Yeah. Some people's hands are down, and I'm wondering. The biggest thing that I've come to realize is most of the people who are successful, they don't do anything new, they don't do anything special. They just have some of these things we don't pay attention to, and then they pay attention to them. Do you understand where I'm coming from? It's like something I was telling. A friend of mine about this one. If she was here, she would testify. Something I was telling about a friend of mine, how it's very easy to maintain sometimes these relationships. How just pay attention to the small details about the other person. Same thing with the business. Pay attention to the small details. You can't get into a business when they sponsored you. For you as a networker or a distributor, you started the business and you didn't know what you want to achieve. For you joined because of the golden rush. Everyone is joining. It's Elias who brought the business. I have to enter. If I join him now, I become successful. Am I speaking to someone? Some of us even changed the company. We didn't know why we changed, but we changed because Elias changed the what? Company. So we changed and said, if Elias has changed, who am I to also not what? Change. So for you, you changed, and then wow, you found yourself in a new business. Forgetting you have to do the same things. Am I speaking to someone? Yes. You find that you're in a new business, but you're doing the old things. And then you ask yourself, why is it that for me, I'm not becoming successful? And I always tell it to the people who have made the income that they have made, that they never touched. For you to have made that income, I always tell it to them, for you to achieve something new, you have to do something new, or you have to become someone new in order to achieve something what? New. And it goes back to the midterm goals and says, envision the growth of your business. Don't just sit down and hope that the business grows naturally. You wake up and then you say, for me, my team will also grow. For me, my business will also what? Grow. I always tell it to the people who are starting business that the business only grows where your mind convinces it to grow. If it's 100 members, trust me, maybe your business hasn't grown to 100 members, but maybe it got close to maybe 50. You understand? But because your mind had thought of what? 100. And tomorrow, if you think of 1,000, maybe your team may get close to 600. Do you get where I'm coming from? But it starts by envisioning it yourself. Some of these things are not difficult. They're the same things we do because the same inviting I'm doing is the same inviting another person is doing, right? The only thing is where are these people seeing themselves 3 years from now, and that person is seeing themselves a whole different, completely different person. And can that person perform or work the same as the person they were before? Meaning, they say that perhaps you want to build a sustainable team, achieve financial stability, or starting earning passive income. Setting midterm goals helps you guide the progression of your business. Those midterm goals, the vision that you see your business with right now, may not be the vision that you want it to be. Like where you are right now isn't where you want it to be. True or false? And now that you have seen and noticed that, meaning there's a vision at the end of the tunnel. It's like seeing light at the end of the tunnel. If you want to know where the exit point is, you have to see that light at the end of the what? Tunnel. If you don't see that light, do you know where the exit is? That's the same thing with success. If you don't see it before it comes to you, you will not operate that same exact way as someone who wants to become what? Successful. And it starts by setting and doing some of these things because it leads you to the last set of goals, which are the long-term goals. This one here, you have stretched yourself beyond the 5 years. You know, when I was doing a presentation for a friend recently, and then I explained to him and I told him that last section, you know that last section, a presentation where it says the Villa Fund, they give it every 5th year anniversary. The guy said, what are you saying? 5th year? Meaning, him as the person I was presenting, he didn't see himself in business for how many years? 5 years. So when I asked him what's the problem, he said, so I'm going to get a house after 5 years. Why not now? Some of the people we're presenting to, we have to take them slowly by slowly. Do you understand where I'm coming from? But we also have to build them faith. Tell your neighbor faith. When you're seated with your presentation, doing your presentation, you're presenting to someone, you have to tell that person not where you are if you've not achieved anything yet. I'm imagining I'm a new person, I haven't achieved anything yet, right? And this is how I was telling my friends. You have phoned me, maybe I've told, let me use an example. Yes, let me use John. Maybe I've invited who? John. And amid this, when I'm doing my closing, which I'll show you after, my closing to John wasn't the things I had achieved. Because someone may think for the people who have become successful in this company, they had to have the things they had already achieved from the previous company. But ask yourself, what did they also achieve when they were new people in network marketing? Before they achieved those things, what did they do to achieve those things? And I remember it very well because my sponsor told it to me. He said, don't speak about what you have probably achieved, which may not be there, right? Or don't start lying. There's a difference between closing and lying. Am I speaking to someone? Yes. Don't start lying about what is not there. Just talk about where you're going. I'll tell my friend, we have started the business. Right now, as you see me, for me, people is not my problem. When they showed me the business, I had a number of people who I knew I was going to talk to. Probably they joined my team and I make a lot of money. But why did I call you John first? I called you John because you are my very first friend. And you see, when they're doing the presentation like this, they ask for 2 people. And all the people are going to join me after are going to be in whose team? Am I speaking to someone? Yes. So this thing gives this person, because there's that thing that we talk about in network marketing, it's called FOMO. Who knows FOMO? Who knows FOMO? Okay, let me not. It's the fear of missing out. Human beings are designed in a way that they fear missing out more than probably any person in the world. Do you get where I'm coming from? The fear of missing out, it affects us and affects our decision making. So if you create that FOMO in your presentation, it will force or direct your prospects in the direction you want them to go. Am I speaking to someone? Yes. So that for me was very important because I would share with them not where I was, but I was using my mid-term and long-term goals. So these goals are very important, and if you have them, please, or if you don't have them, sit down and create them. It takes a day. Just envision the things you want. Envision, where is Azida? She's supposed to be in the train. If Azida was here, she's one of the people who stay with me. She knows that I have a very big board in our house, whereby it shows where I want to be in the next 5 years, next 3 years, next 1 year, and next few months. Do you get where I'm coming from? When someone comes and even sees it, it is clearly broken down. Like, you're not building business by mistake. That success comes to you by mistake. No, success has to come to you intentionally. Tell your neighbor intentionally. If you want to achieve, success has to come to you intentionally, because the first immediate thing when you get started in your network marketing business is building your name list. It says that your name list is your gold mine for your business. Building a comprehensive list of potential prospects is crucial in network marketing because these individuals are the people you'll be inviting to learn about your opportunity. Start by listing everyone you know, friends, family, acquaintances, former colleagues, and people who you have met through social media or online events. Don't prejudge anyone, simply write down their names. You can sort them out in categories later, such as warm market, people who you may know, cold market, people who you may not know. Remember, your name list is not static, right? Keep adding names as you meet people to add on your network. The bigger your name list, the more opportunity you have to present your business to others. One of the things I've learned about a name list, before, when I started network marketing, my sponsor gave me a small book. I asked him, what do you want me to do with this book? He said, this one where I want you to put your names. I told him, how? You want me to write all the 900 numbers I have in my phone? Are you mad? I asked him, do you know how long that can take? He said, I want you to do it. And I asked him, why do you want me to do it? That's 900 names with names and numbers. Why? He said, maybe one day, Aziz, they may steal your phone. You understand? Maybe I told him, why you think of negative things? Why are you cursing me? You understand? I said, I'm not cursing you. Again, maybe you may not have battery on your phone. Okay, let me not curse you. Maybe you may not have battery on your what? Phone. And you're adding, oh, you've got to meet this amazing person, John. And you want to put John in your name list. But your phone has no battery. It has betrayed you. You feel like getting it and throwing it into River Nile. But then you remember you have a what? Name list. Those who are even intentional about their business, they go ahead and then they have a business card. They go ahead and then I saw Edmond recently, having a business card. He even called himself Doc Edmond. I was like, wow. Now when you tell someone about a product, do you think they can refuse? No. Are you seeing what I mean by being intentional about your business? Then you wonder why he's selling products and for you're not selling. Then you say, Edmond says special things because he learned science. Then you ask yourself, if they took you back and they taught you science, would you also sell products today? Hassan said yes. These are negative prospects. No, it's not, because there are a lot of probably people who have had this medical background. But the challenge is they have not seen their business as a business. You're not talking about your business passionately. You're not being intentional about the people you want to sponsor on your team. You're just hoping it happens. How many of you are hoping you sponsor someone? You're just hoping. Don't put up your hand. We're live. We don't want them to see you in another country. Because the worst thing that can ever happen to you is being hopeful about your business. The way you're hopeful about your business is the way your income will be hopeful towards you. You'll be hopeful you make money. The dashboard will also say, I'm hopefully going to pay you. Do you understand where I'm coming from? But when you're intentional, you even insist your system should pay you because you're doing things that force the system to pay you. Meaning you're directing and creating habits by this name list here is very, very powerful. And to know you have a powerful name list, it must grow every day. Tell your neighbor, every day. Every day. And be very, very intentional about growing it. Don't do it just because you're applying. Maybe put an evaluation circle. I had an upline previously in my previous company. This little girl would call me and then ask me, we are doing evaluation. I hope she sees this live event. We are doing evaluation. Come sit in our evaluation circle. How many people added names on their name list? My hand was always down. Monday, down. Tuesday, down. Wednesday, down. Then she calls me aside and then tells me, Aziz, do you want to make money? I tell her, why am I here? I even wanted to just choke her. You understand where I'm coming from? When you have an upline who's a girl and they ask you certain questions, you feel like you just want to punch them. You understand where I'm coming from? That's how I felt. Am I speaking to the men who have upline who are women? Hey, I felt like, does she understand my problem? I just wanted to even strangle the woman. But what saved me from strangling her is one day, in the same evaluation, they ask the second question. How many of you sponsored this week? The same people's hands who are up for people who added names in their name list were the same human beings who had sponsored that day. Then she again pulls me aside. Then I say, if you pull me aside, like if you dare pull me what? Aside, again, we are fighting. But then she tells me a simple thing and says, do you see the reason why those people are sponsoring and maybe for you have not sponsored this week? It's because their name list is always what? Growing. And their income has to automatically also do what? And then I asked myself, why am I not paying attention to these small things? The small things I'm ignoring. Another person is paying attention to them and then he's achieving the small things I'm ignoring. And then the next evaluation, tell you about the next evaluation. I come with a mission. It's a very serious mission that I came ready to show her that my name is to grow. And this time, I did it badly. I just got names off my head. I just said, let me write these guys. I write Jonathan, I write Edmond, I write Daddy Muhire, I write Zaki. You understand? Then when they say, how many of you have added names on your name list. My hand was the first one. And then, this little girl in this evaluation was a very clever girl because she had another gentleman, Daddy Muriel's son. He pulls me aside and says, I says, first come. I said, what's wrong with people pulling me what? Aside. Then they say, I don't want you to just add names because you want to put up your hand in our evaluation. No. I want you to add names because you have actually prospected these people. You've actually identified them as people you'd actually do what? Invite. Then I sat down and said, he makes a point. Let me go back. Second day, I had a mission to intentionally add someone who I thought is a potential business person who could come and join my business. This time, I added them with a lot of emotion. I even, that time when you write and then you rewrite on top of the name to make sure it's bold enough? That's what I did. I called these people. Then 2 of my friends joined from these people I wrote down. That very evaluation, I came very smartly dressed. I made sure even I do the script training. I told them, don't do the script training, I'm coming. And me who usually comes late sometimes for a sale, everyone was waiting for me, calling me non-stop. I said I'm the one doing the what? The training. Because that day I'd sponsored 2 people. So I come and then I sit in the training, we go for evaluation, and my hand is the first one. Even before they asked the question, how many of us sponsored? My hand was already up. He just mentioned how many of us sponsored. I was like, boom. Am I speaking to someone? Before I knew it, it started to become a habit, where you start to get this thing becoming a habit. Don't do network marketing because it's a job or because it's a set of activities they're forcing onto you. Do network marketing like it becomes a habit. In that, when you start prospecting, it becomes natural. Do you get where I'm coming from? Because I recently sponsored a friend of mine who's in today's training, and I didn't go with any intention to sponsor. I went because I wanted to watch my football game. I'm a very passionate fan of a soccer club, though sometimes I'm not sure it, but I'm a passionate fan of a Chelsea football club. And whenever they are playing, I'm very emotional. I go and watch these games and very invested. So even the game was late, and I meet my friends in a place, and we were just seated, watching the match. We even were just amongst us boys, you understand, being together as gentlemen. And this guy asked me a mistake question. He says, what do you do? I came without my antennas on because I figured that my whole emotional investment was on supporting my team. And at that time, even if my wife, I feel like everything switches off because I am that emotional about that team. And here comes this gentleman, bringing back my antennas, asking me what do I do? Have you ever seen a lion when the deers are passing and then they are passing in front of the lion's den? That's how I felt. And when I answered this question, I answered it so confidently. I told him I'm a network marketeer doing a brand new business launching here in Uganda. It's called OQATA Wellness Solutions. Do you get where I'm coming from? The way he saw me, I think, proud about what I was doing, yeah? And the way everyone was complimenting the car that I had parked down there and the place I'd come, everyone was so sure that whatever this guy is doing, he's proud about it. They didn't understand it. They didn't know what network marketing is. I think he even got on his phone and he was Googling it. I saw him Googling it. I was like, don't Google. I even told it to him. Don't what? Google. I'm all the Google you need. You get where I'm coming from? I told him, if you want to know about the business, get time and meet me. We exchanged numbers, and before you know it, invited him on Monday. He joined yesterday, and he started the business. From something I went jokingly to do on Sunday. Am I speaking to someone? He's even in the audience. Just wait for them. Wait for them, sir. He knows. Perfect. Came as a guest, saw the business on Monday and paid and started the business yesterday. But it all started by, and rest assured that the moment I entered my car, I had my name list. I added his name here in the bracket of what? Cold prospects. People I didn't know, but want to know. I didn't even want to wait to forget that number. Do you understand where I'm coming from? That I even had to remember I did not get his. He got mine, but I had to get what? His. I even had to call a friend of a friend who led me to finally his what? Contact. But the moment I remembered his name, before I forgot it, because I may forget it, I wrote it down in capital letters, call Aksam even for appointment. But on top of that, I said Aksam in my name list also. I didn't have the number, but I put a dash. I'll get the number. I called a friend of mine called Abbas, who gave me Malcolm, who gave me Aksam. You get where I'm coming from? 3 people to get 1 prospect. But in the so doing so, I also got Abbas's number, I also got Malcolm's number, I also got who? Aksam's number. You get where I'm coming from? So, build your name list and invite your prospect. Because after identifying the person, you go the extra step and invite the person. Most of us are doing this part wrong. I have a genuine concern about this invitation. Tell anybody invitation. I want us to do it much better. I don't want us to call people and use shortcuts, right? I know we're live. I know that bad habit is there. You know the habit, true or false? And you don't want to copy and paste that habit within your team, right? Because how you invite will be also how your team is inviting. What script you use is what your team will also be what? Using. So the saying says that your ability to invite people correctly can dramatically impact your results. He has even added the word dramatically. The goal here is to pick their interest without overwhelming them with too much information. I remember when we were doing network marketing, we had a man called Matt Morris who used to watch his videos. He would say the key interest in inviting is curiosity. The key point in inviting is what? Curiosity. When someone doesn't know but wants to know and has to know, he'll come to do what? To know. Am I speaking to someone? Whereby you're not giving them all the information. Because I talked about it with one of the leaders in my team. I told her, she kept on complaining, I've invited people. I'm in fact inviting more people than I should. But sometimes, some of them come, some of them don't come, some of them even disappear after I call them. And she said, God is telling me that I'm not. I told her, don't involve God. Don't do what? Involve God. Because God has nothing to do with your success. I just simply told her that invite for me, imagine I was your prospect, you invite me. I have a wonderful business, it has some products, then I asked her, imagine I was a prospect, I asked her, what products are those? She said that there's some beautiful products, health products that we need, there are about a few of them, there's one for this one for... She's doing the correct thing but the wrong thing at the same time. She has given a person too much what? She may not have known it intentionally. Not that she's doing it because she doesn't know, or doing it because she doesn't want to have guests. Maybe she's doing it unknowingly. And it skips her mind that she has given a prospect too much information that makes a prospect feel they already know what they are coming for. And it goes ahead and says, always give them a compliment. Start by giving your prospect a genuine what? Compliment. What does a compliment do? It lowers the resistance. But again, don't compliment that, how are you, beautiful girl? No, don't compliment those compliments. Compliment a character trait. The easiest compliment can be like, hi Aksam, how are you? I'm inviting you for a business opportunity because I remember that you are one of the sharpest guys in class. Even if you know he wasn't in the top 10, but he was somewhere there. You'd be like, you are one of the sharpest guys in what? Class. When it comes to money, you're the first name that popped up to my mind. Now, I've just landed on something that me and you can do that I feel if we sit down on a round table and discuss, you'll never regret that conversation. Have I mentioned anything to do with the job? Have I mentioned what he's going to get? Have I mentioned anything I'm promising him? But the idea of doing this has to come naturally. That's why I always tell people, when you're identifying your name list, why you're doing those kinds of invitation is because you imagine you're out of people. You imagine that you're out of people. But let me give you the tip. There is something called a memory jogger. Sit down with a memory jogger. Google it. If you have internet, Google what a memory jogger is. It will help you understand, actually, you have a number of people, but you have put it in your mind that you don't have people at all. Because you're not memory jogging. How comes for me I'm still inviting my close friends? How? How come? I've done network marketing for how many years? 8. Now I'm going to make 9. But how come I'm still inviting a very close what? Friend. But then for you have skipped the close friend, you've gone to the cold market, and then you've rushed to jump into the cold what? Market. A person comes here and he has no reason to honor your invite. He has no reason to attend your presentation. He has no reason to join you. He's not emotionally attached to why you're even telling him about this business. And before you know it, he has become another eyeball that has sat in your presentation and walked away. Even they block you. Am I speaking to someone? Yes. I had a friend of mine, he's inviting 100 people daily basis. Both offline and online. 100 what? People. And then he's asking me who invites 5 or 3 or 4 people. Why am I sponsoring more than him? I asked him, who are you talking to? Like, among those 100 people, how many of them are your friends? He told me none of them. Then I asked him, how many of them want to be your friends? He said, maybe like 2. Okay, how many of them did you have a decent conversation with to actually genuinely feel like this person would honor my invite? He said, none of them. I've never met any of them. I just got a group and I said, I said, let me pour my what? Information. He got the group and he poured the whole script. Boom. After he posted the script in the group, he said, copy and what? And indeed, he copied and pasted. Even the name, he copied and what? Pasted. And then I asked him, you're sending Alex to a lady. You're sending, hi dear Alex. Alex, and yet, what name have you seen? You've seen Eve. How are Eve and Alex connect? Even when the prospect doesn't come, are they right? They're right. They're right to not show up because you're not taking time and doing this activity, what? Correctly. This genuinely is one of the biggest building blocks in network marketing. This here is one of the genuine building blocks. When I started network marketing, I landed on a video when I was just about to quit. You understand? I landed on a video by a gentleman called Pathman. He called it the 8 basic building what? Blocks. When I landed on that video, I went back and decided first, copy what he was telling me and apply it. And I realized that I was actually doing the wrong thing the whole time. That's why I wasn't getting anyone joining my what? Business. It took me almost 2 months to get my first sign up. 2 months. I was coming in day out, day in that I was even walking some days until my shoe, for the guys, you know that your shoe when you overwalk, it develops like a small hole. You get where I'm coming from? And I was a person who was determined not to give up. I would put like a small mattress, I would cut a small mattress, put it in my sock, tie it, and then I would cover so that when dust or water enters, it's contained by the what? I have given you a tip. That's how much I badly wanted to become successful. And then someone is there and they've invited 3 people and then they say the business doesn't work. The business doesn't work. But they are forgetting that when you look at your invitation, they say the purpose of the invitation, I even said it, the purpose of the invitation is to get them curious about the presentation they're about to see. He says too much information can confuse or overwhelm them. Maintain curiosity, keep it simple, direct, and full of curiosity. Keep the phone call simple. The phone call shouldn't be so long. It shouldn't be so, again, too much words. You get where I'm coming from? Make a phone call whereby if someone next to you and is in your team, he can make the same exact phone call using the same exact words. Hi, Cynthia, how are you? It's a pleasure to hear from you. Do you have a few minutes to spare? Yes. Perfect. The reason why I called is because I've just landed an opportunity. It has just reached me at this moment. And the first name that came to mind is yours. Then she asked you even why. Why? Because Cynthia, one of the hardworking girls I knew, out of the very many girls in my class, the hardworking girl was you. And the reason why I'm inviting you is because I figured a person hardworking like you, if you land on this thing that I'm doing right now, and for you to become successful. She asked me, what is that? Perfect. That's the reason why I'm calling you. I'll come and call you and you see the full picture for yourself, me and you, one-on-one, and we chat about it in detail. It's too much that I can't tell you over the phone, but if we meet, you never regret why we met. Simple, but what? Direct. You can tell it to another person, he copies the same invitation, he tells it to another person, he copies the same invitation, and another person, because an invite is a beautiful invite only and only if another person can copy and do what? Paste. And only if you can duplicate the same invitation. That's the reason why they gave us those scripts. Those scripts were not designed by mistake, by the way. No, they were designed intentionally to help you also copy and paste. And another thing was to teach the person who's also new like you how to invite. Am I speaking to someone? Yes. The next point, deliver a business presentation. He says, the 4 pillars of a great business presentation, the goal should be to educate, inspire, motivate, and value, and make your prospects value the opportunity. Company profile. Start by introducing the company, its vision, its mission, and track record, and share why the company is a reputable, trustworthy choice for anyone to join. Go ahead and, the company says, discuss the product, highlight the benefits, quality, and unique selling points, and set them apart from other competitors. You don't need to badmouth. You can just simply identify what makes your opportunity special from another one. You understand? What makes it is the presentation you make. Because they say the money plan, explain the compensation plan, how it works, keep it simple, and help the prospect understand how they can make money through your business model. Don't confuse the prospect. Don't tell him, because he's new to network marketing, don't use difficult words. This is my upline. When you join, you become an upline. And when you join as an upline, you have to have downlines. Then he starts looking for the word downline in Google. He starts looking for the word upline on Google. He looks for a dictionary if he has a dictionary. And he's looking for these terms, and the business is already becoming what? Hard. Let me tell you, the harder you do your business, or the more complicated you do your business, the harder it is for your team to grow. Because it says testimonies at the end. Why we share testimonies? And for the people who have testimonies, please be available to give those what? Testimonies. Because it's these testimonies that help convince the other people or share the belief of the people who are inviting their guests to also join the what? The business. Because today it is you as invited, tomorrow it is them, and also today it is you as a testimony, tomorrow it can also be who? Them. So be available for them so that you can pass down the testimonies, so that one day you also see them on stage giving their own testimony. That's beautiful network marketing, where you can no longer be the same, maybe, the same top earner, the same top, like you don't want to see the same what? Faces. Today I want to see John, tomorrow I want to see Jonathan, tomorrow I want to see, you understand, Daddy Muriel. Like I want the stage to not be glued to certain names. Am I speaking to someone? This stage has no glue, because I remember this book of GoPro. It's the first book I recommend anyone to read. Eric Worre says the person who's holding the clicker, or the one who's doing the presentation holding the marker, or the pen in this case, is usually 99% the one who's making the what? The money. So it was simple. I told myself, if I also hold the clicker, if I also do the presentations, if I also be the one holding the marker, 99% of the time, I'll be the one who's making the what? The money. But they tell you come and do the profile, you want to cry. They tell you come and do the presentation, you run away. Come and do the closing circle, for you, you're closing yourself. Like, don't be the person running away from money. The farther you run away from these activities, the harder you become to making yourself become successful. These activities should be things, because when they invite you to come and do a presentation, they imagine you're also presenting. True or false? So if the company is imagining you're presenting, they're asking themselves, what is Juma presenting to our people? If Juma comes here and then says resveratrol helps you lose weight, there we can understand that he may need a little bit more of what? Training. But also Juma, as an individual who presented that day, will understand where his mistake is as he's doing his business. You understand? That is the most important thing that we're trying to do for people, but they're not seeing it. Because it goes ahead and says, with the closing being the next step, closing your prospects where the real magic happens after the presentation. It goes ahead and says, your goal here is to keep your answer, to answer any remaining questions, address doubts, make the prospect feel comfortable in making a decision. Be present after the presentation, don't overmake your prospect stay, and then also ensure all their questions are answered before they leave. Let them speak, encourage your prospect to talk and ask questions. If your prospect is not asking questions, it means either two things have happened. You're either a good presenter, a good teacher, or your person hasn't understood anything. Now we hope it's point A, that you're either a good presenter or good what? Teacher. But then it means simply listen to them carefully, pay close attention to their concerns and objections. These prospects' questions guide you to understand what's holding them back. Have you ever presented someone and they tell you, let me think about it? That's the worst word that any entrepreneur or any business person wants to hear. Let me what? Think about it. Then you feel like asking. One day I asked someone, at that time I was still doing my network marketing opportunity. Just began it. Then here comes a person. He said, let me think about it. I asked him, for you, didn't you come with your brain? For you and all the prospects I invited, you are the one telling me, let me think about. What are you thinking about? For you, not giving your prospects time to what? To breathe. Because what's funny is, if we go and show you how this feel-felt found is very important for you to grow in your business. How many of us joined on your very first day presented to you? You joined on your very first day. They presented to you today, you paid. Wow. How many of you want to be like Tade when you grow up? You want to be like him? Amazing. How many of us joined after the first week? By show of hands? First week? Wow. Amazing. First month? First 3 months? 1 year? There are even people of 1 year. But not for OQATA, maybe another business model. But this is the thing. If you apply feel, felt, found, by the way, you'll understand that even you, when they presented to you, maybe you didn't have all the what? The money. Maybe you had also questions. Maybe there was something you felt unsatisfied about and you didn't start right away. Now, when you don't give your prospect probably that room to breathe, maybe they'll feel like I'm the only person this guy is waiting for to make money on. Has your prospect ever felt like that by mistake? Like they can sense your sense of despair when you talk to them. Like you even want to pull their bag from their shoulder and say, where are you going? Come back here. You have to pay. You even want to check their bag. For the girls, they usually have a lot of things. You may land on something. So I always tell people, closing shouldn't get you emotional. What you should apply, I said for very beautiful close, is that fear of missing out. That FOMO, that thing was something that changed my business closing. That fear of missing out makes people direct them to where you want them to go. Like that fear of missing out is one of the things that make us human beings. If they tell you that if there's a room closed, and in that room, they say, there may be $1 million US. Huh? Get me correctly. There may be what? $1 million US. But the room is closed. You can't tell whether it's there or not. But you have to pay is 100,000. All you have to do what? Pay is 100,000. How many of you wouldn't pay that 100? And then we know you. How many of you wouldn't pay that 100? Or at least wouldn't have borrowed or looked for that 100? a big percentage of us would have borrowed or looked for that what? 100. Why? Because of the fear of missing out. What if that 100 gets me 1 million US what? Dollars. That's the same thing. What if 495 makes you buy your first car, build your first home, travel, like you become a millionaire just from 490 what? 5. At least try and fail. Like the way my teacher used to say. But never fail to do what? Now, if my teacher told me those things, for you, what was your teacher telling you? Let's proceed and see. That follow up is very, very key. You can do the other things poorly. I always tell people, you can be maybe not the best presenter. You understand? You can be maybe not the best inviter. You can be maybe not the best closer. But surely, you have to be the best what? Person at following up. However bad you are in other skills, don't be bad at this one. Ask me why. Because even Eric Worre says, the fortune is where? This is where your money is made, and it's in a book. It's in his book that it's Skill 4, I think in chapter 7, if I'm not mistaken. Go Pro. Skill 4, chapter 7 says that if you follow up correctly, the number of exposures, usually the number of exposures happen to make you successful in follow-up. And it says follow-up is crucial in network marketing because most of your prospects won't sign up after just one exposure. In that book, he says it takes about an average of 6 exposures, but in today's era of network marketing, sometimes it's 6 enough, sometimes even can take 20. You understand? It can even take 30. The most important thing I always tell people is never stop exposing your prospect to the what? The business. The moment you stop exposures, that's the moment you start reducing your chance of becoming successful. Because it says it's your responsibility to keep in touch and nurture the conversation, because follow-up is just the art of keeping the conversation going. You understand? It's just the art of keeping the conversation what? Going. Don't let your prospect forget about you. Upline, a CEO said that it's called TOMA, right? Top of the mind awareness. The person they remember most is usually the person they contact first. Do you get it? If it's about a product, maybe they saw it on another person's status. Maybe someone invited them better than you and convinced them even more than you. But then they remember that, but this guy is the first person who showed me the what? Business. Then they go back to who? To you. Maybe they don't buy the first time because they didn't have money. But the next time that they call them, that's the time that they are willing to join. But because you forgot about them, this thing happened to me. I wanted to die in network marketing. The first time I called my friend, he was supposed to pay cash. He said, call me on Thursday. I called him Wednesday, Monday, Tuesday, like until when? Thursday. Thursday came, he got an emergency, he lost the money. And then I considered him a bad prospect. I wanted to just even get him and punch him. But before punching him, I thought to myself that, what if I asked him better instead of rushing to block him? What if I asked him, what happened? You understand? Feel felt found. We talked about it. What went wrong? Maybe he got an emergency. Maybe his mother was sick. Maybe something would have happened. You understand? But because I didn't stay in touch with him, here comes maybe a Ruth, and then she reinvites him. And because she was also following him up as I was following him up, and then Ruth, he promises to join on Monday. He doesn't join also Ruth on Monday. Ruth smiles and invites him back again. He says, let us meet and we'll talk about it. Why you didn't join? Have you ever called someone to meet and ask them why they didn't join? Like, you meet them and ask them, let's meet and find out what other strategy you can use to join a business. For you, you say, why should I meet this one? I'll even waste my minutes. You get it? And then, before I knew it, this guy comes and joins and pays to another person, another team. I went on the floor, I sat down, and I told my upline, I feel like quitting, sir. He asked me why. The person who told me on Thursday has come after 1 month and he has paid to the other guy. I even started going to the admin that this person has taken my person. How? Where? Do you get where I'm coming from? So that is the challenge we're making. Another person is consistent with the person. For you invited them once, you expect them to join once, and then you withdraw your money instantly. Am I talking to someone? Follow up multiple exposures. make the conversation better, keep in touch, send them updates, maintain the relationship. And then it says, as we end our training today, this amazing quote here is what keeps us going. You can't step up to the next level as long as you keep one foot on the lower level. You can't step up to the next level as long as you do what? Keep one foot on the lower level. One of the things that helped me in network marketing is I sat down, and when I started network marketing the first time 8 years ago, I sat down and I looked at these people who are becoming successful. I looked at them from head to toe. I saw how they're walking. I saw what they're doing. I decided, why not model the things they're doing? This story, true story, I never loved to wear a suit, even up to today. If you find me in a suit past the working time, it's a challenge. I hated them like with a passion. So when my upline told me to wear a suit, I felt like dying. I said, this thing is choking me. You understand? I said, this coat is hot. I was asking, why do people even wear these things? Can't I invite my friend in my nice sweater? Can't I, like, and then I asked myself that, he told me, before you become successful, I want you to imitate the people who are already what? Successful. Then I said, are those people who are successful wearing sweaters and shirts and to present to their guests? I said no. Then I said to myself, if the reason is just to wear a suit, let me wear this thing. I told him, let me wear the what? The thing. I came wearing it that day. Even my friend who I invited asked me that, man, what's wrong? Are you going for a wedding? Then I told him, no, I'm doing a business. He saw that I was passionate about the business, and that from that moment onwards, I started owning more suits than I own t-shirts. Am I talking to someone? Because the truth of the matter is, every time you see yourself here, you will achieve where? Here. But if you see yourself up here, you will achieve what? It starts with what you see yourself in the mind, because I believe, genuinely, anyone and all of us can become successful. There's no secret. Let no one lie to you. There's no secret, and everybody has got to start at the same time. Those people we once admired have started also. True or false? And now you have the same exact things they have. You have the same opportunity they have, but somehow, somewhere, they are going to become different from you if you don't do the things we've been talking about. Have we learned something today? Yes. Are we ready, team? Oh, yes. Unless maybe there's any communication. Oh, perfect. Wow, 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 wow. Tell your neighbor, wow. Wow. Tell your neighbor, wow. Wow. How many of us know what's happening on November 9th? Are you guests? Is anyone here a guest? How many of us know what's happening on November 9th? Say it like you know what's happening. Okay, to inform you, if there was breaking news, we would do breaking news. There would be that song, and it comes with a big word here, breaking news. The breaking news is, ladies and gentlemen, that the tickets for our recognition rally are already out. The early bird can take it at 60,000. The middle bird, as they called him, can take it at 70,000. Then the bird that always eats the bones will get it at how much? 80,000. So are you the bird that eats bones? No. So the number of tickets here are limited. Tell your neighbor, limited. Limited. Imagine that day you're being recognized, or they're calling you on stage because maybe you've done something good, and then they refuse you to enter because you don't have a what? Ticket. Will you die or you resurrect? You die. So me, what I'm telling you is these tickets are readily available with Immaculate and Allen. You can pay to Madame Allen, and then you get your ticket from Madame Immaculate. She's right over there. Make it a point to promote this event. You know, one of the things that build our business, network marketing, are what? Events. Your prospect, your downline may not be motivated about network marketing, but surely, when they attend that event, they won't be the same. Trust me, when people saw their numbers and their incomes, they were like, wow. they felt even more reason to work what? Harder. So believe it or not, that one day you're going to be an achiever, and it starts with this amazing recognition rally. How many of us want to buy a ticket right now? By show of hands. Like, you want to buy a ticket right now. Wow. Hey, please stand up. Wow. Ah. There's a gentleman who wants to buy a ticket right now. Wow. And this is a person who just joined when? Yesterday. Cut now for you. Who has joined today? You have even shares. You even have, they call you a superior business